replace engine or rebuild the engine. Today we are going to cover this topic: pros and cons, what will be better, replace or rebuild the engine, and I hope to the end of this video we can get answer for this question.
Patrick's Garage.
Grab your snack, welcome back. Let's think about more deeper. To rebuild the engine first, like in the case of just replace the engine, you want to find this area where you're going to do all these things. Surface, in a garage, or maybe on the earth, concrete, floor, maybe asphalt, and you want to find this area where you're going to accomplish all this work. You want to remove engine in all cases, you want to rebuild engine, you want to thinking in advance that which will be needed to rebuild the engine, this special equipment. Probably more better to find this in advance. You want to order special equipment, which parts you will need when you want to rebuild the engine, and this will be sense only in case when we can't find new engine. Yes, more easier to find new engine, to find mechanic you trust, and they can do this work. But if you want to save your car in pristine shape, more better to rebuild this engine which was installed for this car from the factory. This is my reason why I want. Yes, you know that I changed the engine, right? And for this work, you want to find a system for rebuild the engine. Which ways for replacing the engine? Yes, you want to remove hood lid, probably, which was done by me when I replaced my engine, and I planning to rebuild the original engine, but now I just replaced the engine. And you want to find assistant. More than this, you want to find this area, probably football goal, this frame for football goal. You want to use as with chain and ratchet. Probably this will be appropriate. Yes, last thing which we want to get injuries from this enjoyable process. But yes, maybe if you have a really great assistant which really want to help you, you want to find this pillar, really reliable pillar and chain. You want to somehow attach reliability, main thing in this process, to this pillar, and you want to lift up and lift down the engine to the engine compartment. And what was done by me, I used this uh, ratchet and chain, so I'm attached to the door frame in the garage. This hook, between on this frame, this hook was attached by my father, so he um, was my assistant, and always more better to find anybody who was familiar with these procedures so he can help. And this process of removing, installing new engine, but when you want to rebuild, and why we want to do this work by our own hands. First, we can trust people, especially nowadays. So we can trust mechanics. So we must to do all this work by our hands. And we want to planning in advance. Have we access to these facilities which will be needed to rebore the cylinders, maybe, who knows in which condition your engine. Of course, question with time. Have you enough time to do all this work? It requires a lot of time. Rebuild, removing, install, find the spare parts, the searching process of spare parts. Yes, if you're lucky enough, you can buy an old engine from junkyard, which was done by me, but turns out this was a really great engine. So we replaced the engine, and as you know, it works. It works, and what I want to say, this was temporarily moved, so this is for this period of time before I can push myself to rebuild the engine, which in the garage it waits this time when I'm decided to start this work with rebuilding this process. But as first decision, yes, you want to change the engine. If your engine absolutely not working, and you can replace for this time when you're going to spend this time to rebuild the engine. You have only one car. Yes, you want to find this engine which you want to install for this period when you want to rebuild your original engine, because I want to save the pristine shape of my car, so I want to rebuild the engine and put it back into the engine compartment. From which circumstances this depends, and which prefer you rebuild or just change the engine, which more better with new car, with old car. Yes, if you have any thoughts about that, please share. But if you know that this is not your real vacation and you're not mechanically inclined, probably you want to trust mechanics. Of course, anyway, you don't want to make wrongly move after our today's conversation. You start by identifying which way you prefer. You go from your possibilities. That means that change the engine will be wrong and rebuild engine will be right. And when you decided to rebuild the engine should be a big enough reason. And you want to check your engine probably with mechanic for taking this decision about rebuilding or replacing. And important thing, if you really want to do this work by rebuilding the engine, probably of your sheer passion, you want to install another engine to enjoy this process of restoration your original engine for this period of time. So you only one obstacle you have is figuring out what you need for this process. I decided to rebuild the engine, and meantime I'm replaced the engine, meaning what procedures should be done during all this process of restoring my engine, meaning how to make this list, bullet points list, what should be done first, and after that, not to get rude awakening during our process of restoration. Or we want to create plan. But yes, only during the process of disassembling you can realize what should be rebuilt. You can pick and choose parts and realize what you want to buy only during the process. I prefer spare parts which was produced in olden days, because now
Who knows? It's a Chinese company. Volvo Parts even original made in China. You know, I'm installed a water pump made in China, but I can't trust their engine parts.
Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Click the subscribe button and notifications bell, so that way you can be notified as soon as I upload new videos about car repairing.